guys, welcome back to Kollectiv Studio. On Friday, I released a video of a drum cover that Tion did. Amazing drummer, go check it out. He's amazing. And that's really the thing about any drum cover, any drum thing you do, you need a good drummer. So yeah, go check him out. He's really good. But yeah, I made a video quite a while back where I showed you all like the different mics that I put on the drums, like the drum tunnel I built and all that kind of stuff. And today what I basically want to do with the video being out, I just wanted to show you or have you listen to the different sounds that I get out of the out of the recording, right? So first sound I'm going to play you is just the inside mic. So that's the mic that's inside the kick, your normal mic that would be outside, but this is now obviously inside the drum tunnel. Okay, so this is just the normal kick. So this is without any like effects really on it. There's only a little bit of compression on it. So here it goes. So here there's quite a lot of bleed on. Obviously I didn't cut anything out or anything. So how that kick sound can be if you put a little bit of EQ. What I basically use, I use a UAD channel strip. It's an API copy of an API, and so this is basically how the inside kick sounds with a little bit of mixing. Okay, so that's a big difference, right? So basically all I'm doing there is just adding a little bit of low end and a little bit of like high end to get that attack, because obviously that inside mic pointing to the beater on the drum, you want that attack sound, right? So, and there's different ways to get that attack sound. I mean, there's a bunch of ways you can record it. You can put a mic on the other side of the drum pointing at the beater. Then you obviously just a flip phase, because it's not going to be out of phase with the rest of the drum mics. So with any drum mic recording, there's always going to be like a phase thing you have to make sure. Even with the snare drum, you always have to make sure that everything is still in phase and you don't get phase issues. But yeah, you can pretty much get a very good sound if you just put like a mic pointing to the beater. Now, obviously, the second sound I have, and that's the mic outside of the drum tunnel, right? So the idea of this mic is to get a big thump noise. So let's just listen to this without like any effects, anything on it. So you can hear that it gives you that whole tunnel sound, and now how it's mixed. Okay, so you can really like get an idea, a sense of how big that kick can be. And this is just that one condenser mic sitting outside of the tunnel, right? So it gives you that focused sound. And this is basically how the kick drum sounds. This is obviously a little bit of bleed on it, but I mean that's what you get when you put a condenser mic close to drums. But yeah, it's kind of a big sound, and it's this kind of the sound I wanted for this drum recording. I don't want to go too clicky or too high. I know sometimes people get very like high on the attack. I don't want to do that. I really wanted to get the thump out of it, like you can really feel the bass, right? So that's the kick. Now let me just quickly go through the snare. So this is the snare top. This is the mic, the SM57 that's on the top of the snare. Okay, so you can hear that it sounds very like almost like Tommy. Can't really hear the snares. Now the next mic, obviously there's no mixing anything on this. This is the snare bottom. Now you can hear the bottoms of the snares, right? So you can hear a lot of that bottoms. This is the snare that's on the bottom of the mic, and this is the snare. The mic that's like 15-20 centimeters away from the snare. Now on this mic you obviously get a lot of bleed. Now I'm trying different mics, and I'm always trying new things with that mic to get something that might give me a little bit less bleed, just to like try and minimize that bleed if you can. Obviously it's always better to use the right mic or use the correct technique, the angle. I've tried a lot of different angles on this mic to get like the shell of the snare. The angle I got it now, I'm very happy with the angle, but there's still a bit of bleed. The other angle I had on the mic was too much bleed. So I'm really happy with the angle I have now on it. Now I just need to maybe have another mic, maybe some figure of 8 mic pattern. It's gonna like cut out the sides, we'll cut out the hat, and we'll cut out the click. Not the kick, the kick, not the click. Okay. So this is the snare side, like the shell, like 20 centimeters, 20 centimeters away. This is. Now, as you can hear that sound, it's 20 centimeters away. It really sounds like a snare, right? If that sounds like a complete sound, you can hear the attack on the top. You can hear the buzz at the bottom. You can hear almost like the full sound of the snare. So that's why I like that mic, is you really get a bigger idea of how the entire snare sounds, and that's why I always mix it into so if I basically play you all of the snare mics with their mixing, or basically what I use on the plugin I use on the snare mics, I use a BX console. It's an SSL 400E console emulation from BX. Really good plugin. Like I like it. It's super easy to use, and you can turn up the EQ or turn it down, and a bunch of features on it. It just works really cool. I've also got a little bit of compression on it, UAD's Empirical Labs distress on it. So that's basically what you're hearing now. So this is the snare sound. Okay. But you can hear that snare sound. It still sounds very like close and not like fully developed snare sound. So really, if you want that fully developed snare sound, I also blend in a lot of the room mics, especially the room mic, and all of the room mics, or the overheads, a bit of the overheads doesn't pick up too much snare. It does pick, but it doesn't really give you that sound. The room mic really does, and the wall mics give you that full snare sound, especially if you want snare loud. And then the other thing you need to add to a snare to make it sound big is you obviously need to have some reverb to it, just to get that snare to expand, to grow, to sound like something more, something big, especially if you want a big snare. Okay, yeah, so that's a trick a lot of guys use, big snare. So this is the room mic. This is the SE4100 that I put in the middle of the room. So I'm leaving the let me just take off so I'm taking off all of the plugins I have on it. So that's really the full drum sound you can hear from there. If I add in the effects I've got on this, you can hear that drum tunnel going. You can hear the full sound of the drums. Then the next one I have is the wall. I'm going to leave the plugins in on this, so you can just hear the sound of the wall. Now this wall mics are mixed quite soft in comparison to the rest of the mics, but you'll hear it now. It makes the room sounds really bright. Okay, so that's the wall sound. Let me play you the overheads, the room mic and the wall sound together. So this is now the overhead mics, the room and the wall sound together. And to my ears, this sounds pretty much like it does sound in the room. If you have your overheads, the wall, and the room mic, the middle of the room mic, if you put them together, it really sounds like, for me, if I remember the way it sounded when I walked into the room, that's pretty much the sound I'm getting from those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mics. But you'll hear from that mic sound, you don't get that attack, and that's obviously why you want the mics that's physically on the drums, the close mics, because they give you the transient, they give you that transient spike, they give you that punch, and then the room mics give you like the development sound of the room. So if you put everything together, and that's what I'm going to play you now, I'm going to play you like all the drum sounds together with all the processing I did on them, just to give you an idea of how the full thing now sounds. So that's the full sound. Let me just add the effects on it. Yeah, so it really sounds like a really like big and airy, and I've added now some reverbs on the snare. The only thing I reverb I have is on the snare. Just add some little bit of like top end to make this snare sound a bit bigger. Yeah, so that's the sound. Very happy with the recording. Very happy with the way it sits in the mix. I think it really works well with the track. It's like a very expressive energy. There's a lot of energy in it, and that's kind of what you want from drums, right? You want that energy to come out, and that's I think a big thing about what people miss when they don't use drums in tracks. It hasn't got that energy, that noise, that volume you get when you have actual drums. You have a real, I'm not say live feel, but you've got a lot of energy in that track. So sometimes there's some amazing plugins obviously people use, which sounds really, really good. But that's the biggest thing I found is the difference between a plugin and an actual recording is it tends to be a little less energy. Even though it sounds correct, I don't think you can fault the sound of those tracks because it's recorded in the best recording studios. It's like sound samples recorded in the best studios in the world. I mean, it really sounds good. They're getting now the bleed amazingly correct. For example, I'm using sometimes Easy Drummer from Toontracks. Amazing drum plugin. I mean, they really do a good job at getting that drum sound. But I would say for me, the biggest difference I have when I record drums and when I use like Easy Drummer, I think the biggest difference is that live feel, the energy that you can get out of real drums. It definitely is a bit of a difference. And everybody I've spoken to that heard a drum recording coming into the studio, sometimes bands who's been in here, they've always used like programming drums. And when they come in here and they hear their track and their drummer playing on their track, there's a big difference. There's a lot more energy, definitely more energy, more vibe into that song. So that's the thing about it. Obviously, it's more work. But I mean, at the end of the day, we are here to have fun. Hey? We're here to have fun and make music and make memories and do something that will hopefully last forever. So yeah, go out there, have fun, make music. And if you ever want to like talk to me about drum recording and you want to record your band, drop me a email or something, or wherever platform you are on. Send me a message and we can talk about like the drum sounds you want, and we can try and figure out exactly what you want to get. Because in drum recording, there's always a way to get a specific drum sound. There's so many different options. Yeah, so let me know. Get out there, make music, have fun. I mean, that's the whole point of this. Anyway, guys, cheers.